Good afternoon, Professor Sills here, and this is Sunday afternoon. It is September 9, and it's an absolutely amazing afternoon where I am, and I know it's an amazing afternoon where you are, and I know that because I've been tracking the weather, and I want to talk to you about that in a moment. Let's start first with this. The course started a few days ago. I've got an assignment due on the 12th. How are you doing? Have you got the two materials that you need? Have you got the lab manual that we're going to start doing some computer stuff out of pretty soon? And have you got the text? If you have the lab manual, how are you coming on the install? It's a tricky one, especially if you have Windows 7 64-bit. So make sure that you let me know if you have Windows 7 64-bit. And I sent an email out that addresses how to tell whether or not you have Windows 7 64-bit. If you're running Mac, can you emulate in Windows, and if so, in which operating system? Or do you have legacy operating system 9 for the Mac? Either way might get us a solution towards you being able to use software. Now, what I'm going to do for the next couple of minutes is brief you on what's happening in the weather, and you'll pick up some tidbits that may just be helpful, not only in your everyday life, but on some kind of evaluation down the road. So take it for what it's worth. We're now approaching the middle of September, and we're on the rapid slide from the heat and humidity of the summer to cooler, drier, shorter days. And yesterday's weather was a clear indicator that there was a major change occurring. That major change was a cold front that passed through. The cold front was accompanied by showers and thunderstorms. In fact, as you look at this real time of weather bell, this is now about 4:40 in the late afternoon for your time zone. I am now in New Mexico, so I'm 2 hours behind you. And you can see some showers off the coast of New England stretching down to New Jersey. You can see another patch of showers down here off the coast of the Carolinas, and showers stretching across Florida and into the Gulf. That's the green and the yellow. I want you to imagine in your mind's eye that is a continuous line of showers. The only reason it does not appear continuous is radar, which is the tool that detects precipitation, is not picking it up. You can look into radar and you can see what it is, and you can see what the difference between the yellows and the greens are, and study maps like these so you start getting familiar with them. Now, this line of showers and thunderstorms was over New Jersey, and you know that, not too long ago. It actually passed through where I was. I was in Canyon, Texas, which is just south of Amarillo, right about where my pointer is. It passed through the other day. It was on Friday, and by Friday evening, it was 70 degrees in the late afternoon. At the same time in Dallas, it was 103. So let me emphasize that. 70 degrees over in Canyon and Amarillo, and 103 in Dallas. That's a 33-degree difference. That's not normally that big a difference between Dallas and Amarillo. Why? The front. But what was the bigger change? The bigger change wasn't even the temperature. I mean, New Jersey, it's a pretty mild day today, not quite as warm as yesterday. But what's the big change? And if you answer humidity, it feels a lot less humid, a lot less sticky today. That's true. And I want to share with you a better indicator of humidity. First of all, let's go over to the Weather Underground map. And the Weather Underground map shows us our front off the coast. It's primarily a cold front. That's the blue with spikes. This section here, which is showing as being a warm front, is because there is what we call a wave or a minimal cyclone, a minimal storm system off the coast of New Jersey. I'm sorry, off the coast of Virginia and North Carolina. I do not believe that's expected to amount to anything. Frankly, I haven't looked all that closely, but this doesn't look like the kind of pattern that would produce that. This H here and this H here represent high pressure systems or air masses. The air from northeastern New Mexico, I'm right about here right now, to the mid-Atlantic and up into New England is what we call continental polar air. It's cool, a little below normal for the time of season, and dry. This air out here behind another front is even cooler and drier. If we go down below the cold front here, south of it, into central and southern Florida, that is the old maritime tropical air. That's the warm, humid, sticky air that you were experiencing. Now, I mentioned humidity, and I mentioned that there's a better indicator of humidity. I want to introduce you to dew point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on New Mexico, and I'm in Clovis, New Mexico. And what you're going to see is that the relative humidity is very dry, but that doesn't tell me a whole heck of a lot. 35-degree dew point tells me that there's very little moisture in the air. That technically dew point is the temperature to which you'd have to cool the air to get condensation. You ever take a soda out of the fridge and put it out on the counter and all of a sudden it's wet on the outside? Do you ever wonder where that wetness came from? That's because air contains water vapor, which then condenses when it's cool. So the water vapor condensed into water and collects on the bottle, all right, the bottle of soda. This situation out here would have to go down to 35 degrees in order for me to see dew or frost. Now, if I go to New Jersey, I'm going to click on New Jersey, and I'm going to click on Caldwell, which is not that far from Patterson. And I can see that right now it's 75 degrees. It's absolutely beautiful out. Humidity says 48%, which again doesn't mean much. The dew point, 55 degrees. Now let's put that in contrast. Yesterday's dew point was around 70, maybe even a little over 70. That's the difference between feeling really sticky when you go outside and feeling really refreshed when you go outside. I'm sure when you first opened the door, and it's 4:30 in the evening, I'm sure you've opened the door already for the day. I'm sure when you first opened the door, you felt that breath of fresh, cooler, and drier air. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go down where the front is. Now let's go back to the map, and let's remind ourselves that the front is now stretched across central Florida. Jacksonville is north of the front. They're not that far away from the front, so I'm going to go a little further up. I'm going to look for, I think Macon is in this area of Georgia, or Atlanta. So let me click on Georgia. And Macon is right here. And right now, Macon's dew point is 62 degrees, which for most people is still comfortable. It gets uncomfortable up around 70 for most people. So it's 62-degree dew point. That's pretty comfortable dew point. And let's remember, and the temperature is 82. Now let's remember those two numbers, 82 degrees and 62-degree dew point. And again, Macon is roughly right about here in the state. And now we're going to click Florida, and we'll take a look at Orlando, which is right about where the front is. So Orlando's air temperature, from what I saw, is 83 degrees. That's no different than Macon, Georgia. But look at the dew point, 76 degrees. That 76-degree dew point, if you've ever been to Florida in June, July, August, September, even into October, this is the kind of stickiness that, well, makes you not want to be outside during the middle of the day. So hopefully you got something out of our discussion. Hopefully now you're looking for more continental polar air, near to below normal temperatures, and low humidities in the form of lower dew points in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. When they get up into the 60s and 70s, that's when we start feeling real sticky, especially over 70. When they get down too low, now the dew point here I think I read was 19, that's fine. But when it gets down below about 10 or 0 or below 0, the air is so dry, that's when your nasal passages and your throat begin to dry out. So that's only something New Jersey finds in December, January, and February. All right, you guys have a great day. Get back with me if you have any questions.